Dear students, welcome to the e-learning session. This initiative has been taken by Cambridge International School, the Soul. Hello, I am Navdeep, working at PGDIP. So students, in this time that you should take care of your health, also help your family members, clear, and stay at home. So moving to the today's topic, today we'll start one more topic on the data structure in Pandas only, part 2. In part 1, we have focused on the data frame data structure of Pandas, and today we will focus on series. So these are the two vital data structures in Pandas. Students, here you can see the importance of the unit 1, that is carry 30 marks. We have already discussed. Now in data structures in Pandas, we have basically two topics. Already we have covered it. I am just revising so that if you have left something earlier, that you get revised here in this part. So today we will exclusively focus more on series. Just to revise what we have covered. What is Panda? This is an open source, easy to use data structure, and it is used for data analysis purpose. Pandas data analysis and modeling features enables us to carry out their entire data analysis workflow in the Python. So basically the Pandas is very crucial in data analysis. You can refer to different data science courses also, and you can see the importance of Pandas over there. Moving forward, these are the industries where the Pandas package is exclusively used, very frequently used. Business and industry applications in higher education, research and teaching, and government also use this package for analysis purpose. Students, we have seen that Pandas is having a number of features. Many of the features are listed here, so you are familiar with these words now. Data frame. What is a data frame? This is another data structure. So this is a two-dimensional labeled data structure with columns of potentially different data types. So two-dimensional means it consists of rows and columns. We can compare it with spreadsheet or a SQL table. They also look like a data frame. Data frame accepts many different kinds of inputs. We can create a data frame from a one-dimensional array, from a dictionary, or from series. We can create a data frame from a two-dimensional NumPy array. We can create a data frame from a structured or record n-dimensional array. We can create a structure from a series, and finally we can create a data frame from another data frame. So these are the different ways we can create a new data frame. Students, like the first example we discussed, that we created the data frame using a dictionary of series. So here you are seeing that we have used two series, and today we will exclusively focus on series part. Then the second example, we created the data frame from a n-dimensional array. Here we have used two-dimensional array. Clear? And you know what is a list is? List is basically a one-dimensional array. Then we discussed few of the sample MCQ questions, very important, because in the coming test you will find it is the tests are based on MCQ. So first question was, what was the purpose of a Panda is used? For what purpose the Panda is used for? So we know that Panda is used to create a high level array. Clear? So you have seen the earlier examples also. It is not to create a graphical user interface programming. It is also not used to create a database. So all the above option is also discarded. Option C is selected like this. Then in the second question, data frame in Panda is a two-dimensional array, consists of rows and columns. Then in the final question, which of the following input can be accepted by a data frame? Structured and dimensional array, series, or data frame? So all of these, because structured array, from here we can create a data frame, from series we can create a data frame, and from a data frame we can create another data frame that we have already discussed in the previous slides. So the last option, all the mentioned above option is selected here. So students, my humble request is that you carefully make a reply on MCQ questions. Moving forward and focusing on today's lecture, that is on series. Series is a one-dimensional labeled array capable of holding data of any type. Data can be integers, it can be strings, it can be floating point numbers, or any other Python objects. The axis labels are collectively referred to as the index. We are already familiar with index. What is index is? That now you can see better, understand about series. This is the overall diagram of a Pandas data structure. Pandas data structure is having data frame also and a series also. What is a series is? A series is represented by a single column. So here if we are having n columns, so we have basically n series. And if they are combined together, clear, that makes a table of n columns and with n rows. So when they are combined together, all the columns are combined together with rows, so that formulates the data frame. So you should be very careful that where the series is, from series we can make use of data frame also. And on the left hand side, this is the about the index. Clear? So index starting from row 1, row 2 and so on, all the rows are basically represented by the index value. So this is the basic of the Pandas data structure. This diagram is very important, students. I am again explaining, these columns are representing the different series, and if these series are combined together, this formulate a n column table with, let's say, these n rows. So if they are combined together, we formulate this as a data frame. So they are very related, these two data structures are there, data frame and series. Now this is how a series looks like. In a series, first we have to import our packages NumPy and Pandas. Then in the step number 2, that we have to create series using the series object of Pandas package. It is having basically two parameters. One is data, that consists of the data, that data can be a Python dictionary, that data can be a n-dimensional array, and that this data can be a scalar value also. And the second parameter is the index. So these are the two parameters that makes a series. So there are basically there are different types of data. These are the three different types of data, and we will make series from all these three different types of data. So today we will use this. Now we will go to the Jupyter notebook and we will do all these things practically. Clear? So again I am explaining this series. First of all, we have to import our packages. Then to create a series, we have to invoke our Panda package from this PD, and this series function, basically it requires two parameters. One is data and second is index. Data can be from these three sources. It can be a dictionary, it can be n-dimensional array, or it can be a scalar value. And the second parameter is the index value of the series. Now we move to the Jupyter mode and we will explain all these three different types of making a series. So students, in the step number 1, we will create a series from ND array. ND array is a n-dimensional array. Okay, it means this is a n-dimensional array. So we will start with, let's say, variable s is equal to pd dot series, and then we will use NPies. So first, as I told you, that our first point is import pandas as pt and import numpy as np. Clear? So np's method we will invoking this random function, and rand n for n numbers. Let's say for 6 numbers, we generate 6 numbers from this, and then we need a second parameter is the index value. So index is equal to, let's say I name them, first is p, second value is q in quotes, then is quotes r, then quotes s, then quotes t. So 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 values, because we have 6 values in the series, that's why there should be a corresponding between the number of values in the data part and in the index part. This is my first part is the data part, and this second part is my index part of the series. Now students, to see the output, just write here s and try to run this, and this star means that my program is now running. So here you can see the 6 random numbers series. This is here. Clear? So these are the 6 numbers of the series that have been displayed here, and these are their index value. If we want to see their index value, so we can say s dot index, run this one. So you can see this is their indexes, pqrstv, this is their index value. We can also create like pd dot series and then np dot random and dot rand n, and in parentheses I pass 6, I run this one. So this is another way of creating the series of, like here I have created a series of 6 values. Clear? Using the random method of numpy. Now students will focus the second method of creating the series from a dictionary. Clear? So this is the second method of creating the series is. So now what we will do, we will create a dictionary, and let's say n is equal to, start with values. First value is q, and I assign, this is a key, and I assign a value 1. Then the second key is, let's say p, and I assign this a value 2, and the third key value is r, and I assign it a value 3. So this is how I have created my dictionary. Now from this dictionary I want to create my series, pd dot series, where I supply the data n. So when you run this one, so you see the result, these are the keys and they are their corresponding values of the series. So this is how we have created a series from a dictionary. Now students, consider the second case. Let's say I have values, and these values are, let's say first value is p and its value is now 2, then the second value is key is q and its corresponding value is 1, and the third one is r and its corresponding value is 3. So this dictionary is containing 3 keys and their corresponding values. Now students, what I did here, now you see pt dot series n. So I run this one. So you are seeing the values of PQR. Now next what I do, you see here PD dot series, and for data I supply n, and for index I mention now the index, and let's say my index is first is Q, then is R, then is N, and finally we have P. And see students, now there is a mismatch. Index is now containing how many values are there in index? We have 4 values, but in the data part we have 3 values, so there is a mismatch. Now if I run this one, there is a error. The error says that positional argument follows the keyword argument, so there should be a proper match also, like here it starts with P, it is starting with Q. So to remove this error, let's make it P, make it this Q, and make it this one R. I run this one, try to run this one, and now students you can see that because index is having 4 values, now for 4th value you will get an odd number, because in the data part we have just 3 values. So this mismatch is basically covered by NaN, that is not a number. Clear? So we have to also keep in mind between the data and the index mismatch. Now moving to the third way of creating series, that is from the scalar value. So how to create a series from a scalar value? Now see, we do this. First of all, create PD dot series, and my scalar value is 4 point, and then this is my data part, and in the index part I have values with P, then Q, then R, and then finally S. So when you run this one, so you see that value 4 is repeated 4 times. So this is how we can create a series from a scalar value. These are my index values, and this is my data repeated how many times? 4 times. So this is how we can create a series from a scalar value. And finally, that we see that series is n-dimensional array like. So why this is called n-dimensional array like? We'll see the example now. In this example, let's say s is equal to pd dot series, and we create a series from random function of numpy random, and let's say I create 6 values, and then I pass here the parameter 6, and then I create an index. Index is equal to, let's say, copy from here, comma s, and then p, and then finally let's say we have u. So these are the index values, and now the step number first is, now I want to access the very first element, so that my very first element is S0. So you see that when I run this one, S0 contains this number, because this number has been generated randomly. Similarly, I can access my other elements. Let's say I want to see that S, and then I use the slicing part. I don't mention the initial part, but I mention the start part, but I mention the stop part, and then I run this one. So now this PQRS 4 values starting from 0 up to 3. 4 is not included. So these 4 values are displayed here. This is also the part that we used in slicing also, but here we are representing a series here, students. So we can also represent a series like this. Clear? So this is important to learn that a series is like a n-dimensional array. So we can apply different operation on series also. If I want to see the data type, run this one. So you can see the data type of the elements of series is float. And if you want to see the actual series, that is series dot array, that you can see the series elements. So like this, these are the elements of the series randomly created. Clear? So these are the different operations that we can apply on the series part. So hope students you might have found today's lecture quite fruitful. Now I will share the resources. So these are the resources you can refer to for handling MCQ also, and for looking at today's topic. So at the end, I thank you all for attending this session. Thank you very much.